My video for March the 17th, 2018 is entitled, Progression Depends on Point of View. I was not planning on recording another video at this time. However, thoughts were flowing as I began my meditation following the activation of my previous video, asking how long. I'm not sure I ever thought of it this way before, but it was suddenly very obvious. Yes, of course, everything has been inverted in human culture and history. Therefore, it all depends on one's point of view. To the so-called elite, progress is moving toward greater control of everyone not in their club. To the non-elite, progress is about attaining freedom for everyone. Progress, therefore, depends on the direction in which life is moving. For a very long time, the progression has been toward enslavement of the masses through ignorance and deception. Yet visionaries see progress as moving away from enslavement toward freedom for the majority, not just some privileged minority. As I see it, it's high time humanity awakened and claimed our birthright, real freedom from oppression. This can only come by knowing, telling, and living the truth that only love, not greed and lust, can free us from the nightmare of enslavement. Are we ready to love one another? Yes, and I haven't even formulated all my thoughts on this thing yet. I just wrote the blurb, and the sun's going to be coming up in a relatively short time, and then I have to take other precautions to keep to make the video clear, because when the sun comes up, there's lines and stuff. And anyway, that's another whole subject. Of course, it depends on point of view. And I see this in relationship to the gun situation. I have family members that have bought into the thing that the way to stop all the crime is to confiscate guns. And of course, others like myself see that the population being armed, in fact, the largest armed population anywhere on earth is the civilian population in the United States. And that is what prevents the United States from totally falling under the control and domination of those who want to make a world dictatorship in which no one has any rights. Again, this is the elite that have this viewpoint. They want total control, total enslavement of you and I all over the world. They've come close to achieving that goal. Very close. If Hillary had been elected, it would have probably been put in place. Trump may be stopping that. I don't know that that's true. Some think it is. Others question it. And of course, we're all going to question things, and it's good to question things. I question things all the time about things even that I've long held as being, without question. I mean, I've held them as absolutes, and I'm realizing there are no absolutes. Love is the only absolute, and yet love is an intangible quality that is even difficult to define for some people. To me, love is simply wanting everyone, wanting all life to ascend, all life to thrive, to the success of everyone, and everyone helping everyone, trying to help them achieve more and better, them being they perceived other. That makes perfect sense to me. But it doesn't make perfect sense to those who want to control and enslave the masses and retain freedom only for themselves to do whatever they please without anyone challenging or trying to stop such behavior. Thankfully, in our generation, the behavior of the elite has become their Achilles heel. They have long abused the most innocent among us, namely children and even infants, in horrific ways. And they have enslaved their own progeny, their own offspring, with a mindset that perpetuates itself from generation to generation. To me, as one who tries to gather information and listen to other viewpoints, that's obvious. And again, listening to other viewpoints, I have rejected all religions that claim to be the only religion. The only religion, again, is love. It's the only way out of the dilemma in which humanity has found itself and finds itself even in the present day and age. We have to learn to embrace the bigger picture, not the smaller picture. The elite shrink everything down to their own parameters instead of expanding everything to the largest possibility. I like the idea of the larger possibility being the higher way, the path toward freedom, the path toward enlightenment, the path toward actual liberation of the human soul and spirit, so that we can build together a world that is beautiful, a world that thrives, a world that makes sense. And when I say a world, I'm not just talking about a singular planet. I'm talking about a whole cosmos, a whole universe, if you will. A universe being one song, and that song is the song of love. That song is the song of peace. That song is the song of listening to one another and embracing, being willing even to embrace ideas that might work. Try, how is that going to work? We've tried how having an elite establishment plays out. Can we not see that it doesn't play out very well? It does not lead to freedom for the masses. It leads to further and further enslavement, bondage, imprisonment, whether the prison is physical or mental and spiritual. It's an imprisonment nevertheless. Are we not going to be able to see the bigger picture? We're going to continue to allow ourselves to be shrunk into a smaller and smaller reality where we have less and less ability to do what we want. I don't want to live in a mind-controlled society with robots running the show, or robots doing the service for some elite establishment that thinks that they're superior to everyone else. I don't believe that God, if there is a God, and I've always believed there was, I don't believe that God considers himself superior to, and I say himself, I don't care if it's a him, it, or her, I don't care what that is. It's not superior to the creation itself, because everything proceeds from the creator. Creation is part of the creator. And it has to be that way, doesn't it? At least that's how my mind, which I'd like to think is a logical mind, comes to and reaches the conclusion that I'm sharing with you right now. Folks, I want peace and harmony, but it can't come by shutting people up. It can only come by listening and being willing to hear both sides of a story. There's not just one side. There's always more than one side, two or more sides. We need to listen. Together, we can build a world that actually works. Together, we can truly learn and practice loving one another. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.